News. I'm your host, Franny Fernana. And for today's news, more like everyday news, climate change is becoming more and more significant. Since climate change can be significant in many different ways, we are going to cover the topic of melting glaciers in the Rocky Mountains. Before we get into this topic, let's check on the weather. Hi, I'm Weather Clemate, and I will be your weather forecaster. Today, summer weather will be 29 degrees Celsius, and soon it will be 25 degrees Celsius tonight, which happens to be hotter than last year's summer climate. Back to you, Fernana. Thanks, Clemate. It sure is hot this week. Speaking of rising temperatures, the alpine glaciers are melting because of rising temperatures. Rising temperatures is caused by the greenhouse effect, and us humans, we are contributing a little bit too much to this natural phenomenon. Things like cars, factories, cow farms, and also electricity, they all contribute to global warming. Now let's take a break and check on sports. Hello, I'm Franning Away, and here's your sports news. Former athlete Zenanrif Aksiknarf gives tips to aspiring young athletes on how to train properly. Today there are so many young talented athletes that train so much, but they tend to forget to take a break. I think that recovery is the most important thing, because obviously you wouldn't want to be cramping the next day, right? It sucks. So since it's been getting like a lot hotter, I think that sleeping and taking a day off is fine, and just drinking a lot of water too. So, for aspiring athletes out there, be sure to stay hydrated and take a break. Back to you, Fernana. I'll be sure to stay hydrated. Thanks, Franning Away. Speaking of staying hydrated, our farms need to stay hydrated. These farms that are found in the prairies between Alberta and British Columbia, they rely on meltwater rivers. Meaning if the alpine glaciers were gone, we wouldn't be supplying enough water for these farms. Also, the meltwater also goes into rivers, and around these rivers there's also settlements. And if this issue continues, it might even lead to droughts. So how can you help prevent the melting of the glaciers? You can simply limit the usage of cars and start walking, carpooling, taking transit towards your destination, turning off or unplugging all technology that isn't being used. Both of these produce a large amount of carbon dioxide because they all use coal, fossil fuels, and natural gas. What you can also do is invest in renewable energy such as solar power. You can start eating more vegetables and less meat. This helps reduces the amount of methane that's being released into the atmosphere because cow farms release a lot of methane. And methane happens to be the gas that is emitting about 18% of all the greenhouse gases. Well, that's all the Nana that I can talk about today. Thanks for tuning in for my Nana. I'm your host, Franny for Nana, and that's your Nana News.